Hey, so recently I actually spent a little more time analyzing Sutcliffe Maudsley's drawings. Um, he kind of just repainted him and repainted him a few times, and they look very different. And you can tell he's taking some artistic liberties with a few of these. Like here, he looks very young, quite a bit older. He really could get into a lot of details, though. I think he wouldn't be considered a great artist today, but he still wasn't bad. He still was an artist and had an eye for detail. And so I was looking at this drawing specifically. That's just what I'm going to talk about now. And this was probably I think this says 1860, but it still was done by Maudsley. So I think he just probably edited one of his other pictures and just, wanted to sell some more by the time they got to Utah. Anyway, I really tried to look at this one day, even though I can really tell this is just a little off. You can tell some of his abilities are a little bit lacking as far as this goes. And I think there probably was a reason for that, because some of his other drawings I've seen were really just very detailed and very well done, whereas the ones of Joseph are just not as well done, probably because Joseph I doubt he would have sat there longer than 20 minutes. Really. It's hard for me to sit down for 20 minutes in one position. I think, knowing what I've heard about his personality, I think it would have been impossible to have him sit there for 3 hours. As you know, I've taken art classes where sometimes people will do that, but I think with his lifestyle and everything going on, he wouldn't have been able to do that. So anyway, but then I started noticing some details, because he could pick up on some of those details. So I'm just going to kind of show you some of those today. I think I'll make this a little bit smaller since it's kind of pixelated anyway. I did a side-by-side. I think I deleted the one that I did. I was doing matching corresponding colors right here. I'll see if I still have that on here at all. I think, yeah, I just went ahead and deleted that. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull this one up. This is one that I just did a little bit higher contrast, so it'll be a little bit easier to see some of these details. I started really noticing, if you can see, especially now I've upped the contrast, you can see this wrinkle, this line that's pretty prominent that comes down. Of course, you see this, and I can see that in some of the paintings, that there's just this shape coming out from his eye, and you can see that a little bit, but you can definitely see that line. And he has some deep lines right there, and you can see how it's a little more, his right eye is pretty deep set. This would have been his right eye. And you can see that dark line right there, that it's a little bit more deep set. What I find are interesting are these eyebrows. If you just sort of follow that line right there, and it is a pretty straight eyebrow. On some of Maudsley's drawings, he kind of just did this crazy angle, but if you go like this, you can actually see that his eyebrows have a little more, they actually do angle down like that. And then I can see how that could be from the side. It probably looks a little crazy like that. Except the eyebrows look brushed up, but still they kind of taper in a little bit thinner like that. It's really prominent on that left eyebrow, but the eyebrows get a lot bit thicker on the outside. Some people it's the opposite, but you can see how it tapers. And I can see this line could really correspond with that, and just some of these deep wrinkles coming down like that, and the fact that it's a little bit lower. Like he's probably someone that smiled a lot. He has a lot of smile lines. You can see how these lines kind of come down a little bit lower. And then really seeing, I'll go ahead and pull up where I highlight this so it's just a little easier to see. Sorry. I'll pull that up. But you can see that I'm highlighting that he has some of those deeper lines coming out from the side right there. And just even the expression just sort of looks, you know, you can kind of see that right there. There's that prominent chin. It's not, he didn't have a weak recessed chin or anything like that. We had a really pretty unique face, and people thought he was pretty handsome and attractive back then. I could see how someone would describe him as handsome. That's, you know, my opinion. Some people might think someone with big ears is just funny looking, but, you know, I have big ears too, so I don't know. I cover it with my hair, and I could see how in every single drawing it's pretty consistent that the hair, you know, here's some more of these drawings. I think this was dated post-mortem, this drawing, but there isn't a single drawing where his hair is not brushed straight forward like that. I can see that his hair is brushed straight forward, and he just kind of keeps it cut a little bit so you can still see his earlobes, but it's covering his ears, and his ears sticking out a little bit. So it's that same hairstyle, and, you know, he's wearing a nice jacket, a vest. And wow, I can actually see this specific drawing. I was studying the lapel. Like, see if it shows on, I think he wore a lot of different jackets, but there was like a notched lapel in a lot of these Maudsley drawings, like here. Yeah, you can see sort of that notched lapel. I actually don't see that notched because this didn't look that notched, but it's pretty clear from here that the upper part of the lapel is darker than below. So I'm going to kind of show you that. I was noticing that. I posted about that on my website because it kind of looked like his sons had a similar jacket to my guy here. If I just pull up this. There's just different details I kind of see. Anytime, maybe once a week, I'll just kind of sit down and look at it and see if there's anything else that I noticed. And so right before I got sick in December, the thought kept coming to me to study the lapel. And I've just been so focused on, you know, the death mask and the skulls, but you can see that this is darker. And it's almost that same angle. It's crazy. Wow. I haven't looked at this drawing in a while. But yeah, can you see how that's darker? And I talked about that on my website. I compared it to a picture of one of his sons where he's wearing a jacket that I thought maybe could match. It looked darker like that, which is so interesting. Yeah, so I think that was the style, because that's definitely, I think of a higher quality of that one. Let me see just one second. Okay, so this is a little bit slightly higher resolution copy of that same picture. Yeah, you can tell on the upper part of his lapel it is darker, and this isn't that crazy notched lapel that you see in Maudsley's drawing that people recreate in most of the drawings. They show that more notched lapel, whereas, I mean, this is notched, but it's this, yeah, I'll show you what I'm saying here. It's kind of this weird, you know, it's notched, but it's this weird shape right there that Maudsley, you know, picked up on with that. Oops, didn't mean to do that. But you can see that it's darker. I thought I could only find that in a picture of one of his sons that I talked about before and I talked about on my website, but I'll be adding this to my website today, so this is fun. I mean, there's just different things. Your mind's just a little more open some days than others. And so, picture of David. I'm going to pull that up real quick. I'm going to try to keep this a little bit shorter. See, and this is very obvious that this specific jacket, this really looks like that jacket. Wow. I think he is wearing his dad's jacket. I'm freaking out now, but you see how the upper part of the lapel is darker. It's harder to see in that specific, but you can see it here. He did. Okay, so now for sure, right this second, I'm now realizing he is depicted with this type of jacket that's a little bit darker, just that line, that upper part, that's the lapel. This is darker, according to this painting. That's so cool. I'm excited to put that on my website now, because I thought the only evidence was like, well, maybe this is his daddy's jacket, but now I'm looking at this, and he just looks like he's just drowning this huge jacket, and now this really looks the same. This is, and see the little buttons. We'll wear the buttons, would snap in, whatever. Wow, this is fun. Okay, well, enjoy this video, and I'm excited that as I was making this, I realized that the lapel that kept coming to my mind, now I see, now I get it. It took me 4 months. Anyway, enjoy this video. Bye.